What is up, Earthnoids and Spacenoids? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are diving back into the mystery that is Mobile Suit Gundam Wearwolf. Last time, Leto believed that the person responsible for the death of Rasaid was Robinson. He panicked and claimed that he wasn't the killer, and ended up getting himself killed in the process. Everyone thinks this is a solved case, but Leto thinks something ain't right. We learn that it is Talbot, that is the werewolf. He is impersonating a soldier and seeking revenge for his family. This time, the team hides out in an abandoned satellite. We meet the Hakate chef, who was a former pilot. Neo Zeon uses a new mobile armor. Talbot tries to seek revenge, and more people are murdered in the process. So let's get into this. Mineral Resource Satellite Base, Bali High, is an abandoned resource satellite. The Hakate is hiding out here. Their supplies are getting low. Everyone's morale is at an all-time low. The doctor is too carefree and tells everyone not to worry, but they struggle to take that advice. Nurse Merritt was Talbot's childhood friend, but they haven't seen each other in 10 years. Luckily, she doesn't realize that he isn't the real Talbot. She says, "Hey, you remember that thing from our past?" Talbot wonders what she is talking about. That is when the cook, Lozère Garnet, comes in. He shouts out Piernik, which looks like an Eastern European dessert. Talbot lies and says that he hasn't tasted that in ages. Garnier is planning on joining the Resource Recovery Survey team. They're planning on scouting out any resources that may remain on the satellite. He needs to see if there are any ingredients worth salvaging. They mention that it has been a while since they have had anything sweet. Garnier says that there are some sweets designated for the captain, but she is more of a drinker and stays away from them. This excites everyone. The team has one spare Barzum, so they are using it to patch up the Pale Rider. After the attack from the Gundam, Leto is going to be piloting the Gundam now. Talbot wonders what is on Leto's mind. She says this still isn't over in her Sherlock Holmes voice. She remembers Robinson's last words being, "Beware the wolf." Illuma comes over to the two and thanks Leto. She says this is the start of a beautiful friendship, and then she runs away. Leto wonders what that was all about. Given the circumstances with Robinson, they swept the incident of Illuma trying to kill him under the rug. While alone, Illuma calls Leto her unexpected savior. That's ominous. The scouting mission turned out to be a whole lot of nothing. Garnier says that the captain has a taste for his cooking. They seem to go back a long ways, way before the military. He plans on making a meat dish for the crew. Are they about to eat Robinson? Captain Lycus tells Ocarina to look into every crew member's history. She says something sinister is going on. This is bloodlust. It seems to be exactly the reason why Ocarina is here to begin with. Talbot tells Garnier that they may have found something that might be of interest to him. Haru hacked into the satellite and found a pantry. They go to investigate and find some supplies. Garnier hears a noise and goes to see what it's about. The art direction is minimal here, so he was either set off by a trap or was shot, causing a vacuum to pull him out into space. A petite mobile shoots out a grappling hook and grabs Garnier. It is Talbot. He saved him from flying out into space. But Talbot knows he was once a pilot. He says he is going to hang him. Talbot tells Garnier that he lived in an abandoned asteroid very much like this one, when Lycus ordered its destruction. We saw in a flashback last episode that Rasaid and Robinson was a part of the Mobile Suit team at that time. Also on that team was Garnier. He realizes he is the one that truly killed Rasaid. He says that when Robinson and Rasaid died, they didn't know the cause of their death, or as he puts it, he wasn't able to show them the karmic irony of their sins. But it won't be the same for Garnier. Garnier says, finally. No, you don't seem to understand. Garnier has been burdened by the incident with Talbot's family. It tore him up so much so that he stopped being a pilot and became a chef so he could create. He isn't looking for forgiveness. He just wants relief. And it seems Talbot is about to give it to him. Talbot thinks to himself, "Aw man, it's not fun when you want to die." That is when Leto comes in and saves Garnier. Talbot is reminded of his sister Lindsay. He helps pull Garnier and Leto out. While catching their breath, Talbot skin talks to Garnier, saying, "You better keep your mouth shut or I will stab you." Leto is happy. Losing Garnier would be an even greater morale drop. She also says that they could learn a lot from an ex-pilot. Garnier and Talbot both wonder how she knows that. She says his signature dishes come from Federation bases, and she had an intuition. Talbot thinks that he probably should have killed both of them when he had the chance. A loud noise goes off. What's up with all these loud noises? You're in a spacesuit, in the vacuum of space. Something is moving outside. They head back to the ship. Leto and Talbot head back, while Garnier takes the petite mobile. Talbot thinks that he is screwed and is about to be outed. Outside, Valikidu is in the Pale Rider when a blinding light comes speeding towards him. A beam blast disables his unit. Lycus is informed on the bridge. Kokata is engaged with a mobile armor. This is the Gazarello. The Gazarello is a mobile armor originally featured in SD Gundam G Generation and is developed by Axis. This was a competing project alongside the Cubli and seems to be a combination of the Elmith and the Gaza series. After the Cubli won the bid, this unit fell into obscurity. It has a Psychomu system. Weapons include a megaparticle cannon, transporter bits, beam sabers, and the heat natas, which are claws. This doesn't conflict with Char's deleted affair, but it is absolutely ignored during the development of the Cubli, which is where we got a lot of Cubli retcons. The pilot is the cyber new type Cassie Nord. She fires the transporter bits. Crocata is overwhelmed. Meanwhile, Leto launches and the Pale Rider rocking the Barzum head. Cassie wants the wolf to come out and play. Leto tries to counter the bits. She takes out some, but one hits her shield. She tries to flee, but is instantly surrounded. Last episode, Kratnix met with Vukadlok of the Ayug. He is starting to doubt him. Krat mentions that Axis's cyber new type tech is far superior, but he says that Axis is a cold place and these burdens should have been put on his generation, not the children. While the fighting happens, Talbot thinks that if they become prisoners of war, his hands will be tied. Talbot says that he is going to help out. Everyone thinks he is crazy because he is just a mechanic. He wants Merritt to deliver a message. He flashes back to his sister. He wants to know why she likes the Gundam. Lindsay says that it breaks through the walls of impossibility and injustice. He thinks how wrong Lindsay was. It is just a tool and an instrument of war. He gets into the Gundam with Haru. Haru injects him with something called Garul's Fangs. A Garul is closer to a lichen, it seems. Leto is starting to understand the Bit's movements. The Pale Rider tries to close the gap, but the mobile armor grabs her with the heat natas. That is when the Gundam comes in and slices through the claw arm. Talbot tries to lure the mobile armor towards him. Ocarina wonders who allowed an unauthorized launch. That is when Merritt contacts Lycus. They wonder what a non-combatant wants with the bridge. She says she has a message from the Gundam pilot. The Gundam lures the mobile armor into the hangar of the satellite. They are now in tight quarters. She is once again surrounded by the bits. That is when a beam blast hits the Gazarello from the outside. It is the Hecate. The message seemed to have been the exact coordinates for Lycus to aim at. Even Lycus is amazed this worked. The Gundam takes one of the mobile armor's beam sabers and impales it. Kratnix says that everything is falling into pieces. Everyone back on the Hecate are amazed by Talbot's skills. This is not the time for him to let his guard down. He wonders where Garnier is. He happens to be in the kitchen. Now that Leto saved him, he has a new lease on life, and he feels his sins have been lifted. We flash back to the incident 2 years ago. It seems that Garnier was the one who killed Talbot's dad. He is ready to treat Leto to that meat dish he promised. Talbot heads to the kitchen thinking how he has to kill Garnier. But once he gets to the kitchen, he finds Garnier's head severed from his body. He has been murdered. There is another murderer on this ship that isn't Talbot. But who could it be? And that will do it for this episode. Every single person in this story is sketchy as hell and has every reason to be a cold-blooded killer. Lycus is throwing people and things under the bus. Illuma is trying to stab people one day and make friends the next, while Talbot plots his revenge. Now that we know that Talbot is the werewolf, we're shifting our focus on the bigger conspiracy at foot. But what are they trying to hide? And who is they? We are completely caught up in this manga. It has a slow release schedule, so it will be some time until we return to this. Talk about a cliffhanger. Let me know your thoughts on this manga so far. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, if you're gonna murder someone, there's really no value in telling them why. It's all ego on your part at that point. Peace.